Your voice, your opinion, your community. Fact TV, free speech, protected.
Did they really make a Winnie the Pooh horror movie?
Yes.
Are we really going to see a bunch of old IPs made into horror movies?
Yes.
Is it by any reasonable measure a good movie?
Define reasonable.
All this and more on Gory Storytime.
Warning. Gory Storytime is a horror movie review show by a son and his dad who thought that letting his 5-year-old watch scary movies was acceptable. If you are offended by horror or talk about blood and gore by a child, or if you don't want horror movies from the 60s through today spoiled, then there is a remote stuck in your couch cushion next to potato chip crumbs. Use it. And of course, parental discretion is advised.
Why? You didn't use any.
Shut up and start the show.
Welcome to Gory Storytime. I'm your host, Jason.
I'm his co-host and his father, Craig. And this week, we are proud to be bringing you our review of Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. This, for those who know the show at all, you know that we love good quality horror movies, and we like things like Killer Clowns from Outer Space, Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, Evil Bong.
Oh, yeah, and this is right up there with The Shining and The Exorcist. No. Oh, wait, no.
So, if this isn't your type of thing, we're going to end up giving 2 numbers at the end. One for how good it is as an actual movie, and then one for how much fun we had watching it. Because to be legitimate, like, those are different numbers.
They are different numbers.
They're not even close.
Yeah, but to be fair, I think even as a movie, I don't have it as low as they do.
Well, we'll get to that. But yeah, so here's the basic premise. It's been 100 years since the book was written.
Yes.
And that means the IP is in public domain.
Which means Winnie the Pooh can kill people now.
Yes. Tigger can't. We'll get into that later.
Yeah, most likely.
And they can't look like the Disney characters.
No, because those are owned images.
Yes, until 2060
years after
something.
that or whatever, right?
Yeah. And who knows? Disney likes fighting to extend the ownership.
If they just keep doing stuff.
Well, anywho, so we got the basic story of Christopher Robin goes off to college. And he comes back to show his new girlfriend his friends after a few years. The problem is they were starving in the 100-acre wood because their friend wasn't bringing them any more food. So they went rabid, or not rabid, but like feral, and started by eating one of the friends.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to give that away, but okay.
Well, that's right in the trailers, I thought.
I don't know. I don't remember the trailer specifically, other than it just made me go, okay, this looks awful, and I'm in.
Right.
And then, so it's Piglet and Pooh on a rampage.
Hungry and mad.
And, they're angry specifically with Christopher Robin because he left. Anything else we got to say before we...
It's Winnie the Pooh killing people. What more is there to say?
Yeah, like... If you haven't seen it,
you know if
you know if you want to.
Right.
Like, our review is we're not going to give it a glowing review that's going to make someone that's like, that's a stupid idea, want to watch it.
Right.
And anyone that wants to watch it isn't going to care that people say it's bad.
Also right.
Because we heard it was bad, and I purchased it.
Oh, yeah.
Not the easiest thing to do, either. It was released in Australia months ago, and not in the United States, but it is now, so.
Depending on where you go, that is the truth.
Yes.
So
that's about it. So why don't we roll the trailer so you can see what fun we're in store for?
know, you're the first person I ever shown this place to.
And why am I so special?
Because soon we'll be Christopher and Mary Robin.
You should be close now.
We're not going to find them.
We will. Pooh, Piglet, Eeyore, we were friends for many years, and they're out there.
Christopher, we need to leave. Now.
I really need to find out what's happened here, okay?
This place is kind of cool. Did you say it has a pool? We need to go. There's... Laura's there. There's someone else outside. What was that?
We used to be friends. Why are you doing this, please? I would have never left, I swear, I swear.
All right.
Yes. Now, before we get into the behind-the-scenes information for this movie, which there was a lot,
There was
of
good
it had to
chunk.
do with, legal
Budgets.
rights and
And that.
yes. But anyway, this is the part of the show where we give a shout out to all the actual
Real-life
products that
product
really
sponsors
exist, that sponsor us and send us lots of money. Insert joke about piles of money that have been delivered to our house in some interesting way
Yeah.
and what we've done with it, because we're so filthy rich that we're doing a show
Yes,
for
not
local
only
TV.
are the products real, but so is the money.
Yes. So this week, Gory Story Time is brought to you by Obvious Ideas for Lazy Thinkers. We are a marketing company that specializes in coming up with the easiest products for your company to sell once you have an IP. Need a product for a kids movie? What about an action figure? Need a kids, or maybe a kids book or breakfast cereal? Now I know what you're thinking. Everybody does that. True, but you didn't think of it, so hire us. Obvious Ideas for Lazy Thinkers, because you're not that smart and you never want to try.
All right. And by Close Enough Costume Co. We never get licenses to our pop culture costumes because we change them enough to stick it to the big guys. This season, look for our newest arrivals. We have marvelous heroes like Arachnid Guy and Lieutenant USA. Check out our couples costumes with like Big Ogre and Jackass or Orange Puppet and Yellow Puppet. So come on down to Close Enough Costume Co., where you may not look like the exact characters, but you will be close enough.
Sounds about right. Now, for the behind-the-scenes information, or as he likes to call it, the meat and beef of the show.
Or as I like to call it, the meat and beef of the show.
Production, or do you want to go first, or do you want me to?
You can.
Okay. Production of the film became possible in 2022 after A.A. Milne's novel Winnie the Pooh entered the public domain in the United States, which marked the first appearance of Winnie the Pooh, Piglet, and Christopher Robin, thus lapsing those characters into public domain. Rabbit and Owl were also allowed, obviously.
The film's characters could not resemble the Disney versions who debuted in 1966 and are still protected by copyright.
The film was initially shot in just 8 days in April of 2022. That was when it was
Originally.
the first chunk of
The first
money.
time they tried.
Yes.
While the copyright for Winnie the Pooh lapsed in the U.S. In 2022, the copyright will stay in place in Europe until 2027, 70 years after the death of A.A. Milne, which makes it very hard to legally distribute this film in European countries.
Because you can't use the same names and call it a parody. That's the thing. That's why, like, the mean one is called the mean one and not the Grinch,
Right.
because it's parody. Anyway, in Hong Kong and Macau, the movie was pulled from cinemas 2 days before it was released. Cinema chains in the cities cited technical reasons.
Sure. The classic character Winnie the Pooh has been used to mock China's president, Xi Jinping,
Jinping? I don't know.
By Netizen, a pro-democracy protest in
Hong Kong.
Hong Kong.
Which might have more to do with it.
Right.
This is the second live-action movie of Winnie the Pooh, though the first was not. This is the first not made by Disney. It's also the first for mature audiences.
That is also correct. Tigger was originally going to be in this film, but he wasn't shown due to the copyright of Disney. His character was in A. Milne's second book, meaning he will be public domain in 2024.
The Pooh and Piglet masks used were products by the American prosthetic mask manufacturing company, Immortal Masks. The bear was obviously a spin-off or a takeoff of Winnie the Pooh because they called it Friendo Honey Bear for Winnie the Pooh. And Hog silicone mask was what they used for Piglet.
Yes.
That's not directly from, but still.
A sequel to the film was already announced during its release in theaters.
The movie poster features Winnie the Pooh holding a sledgehammer and Piglet holding a knife. In the film, Pooh uses a knife as well as his bare hands, and Piglet uses a sledgehammer.
Now, due to that fact and the wrongness of that being, I chose the one where Pooh has the knife to be the one behind us.
Yeah, because actually, also in the movie, it's not really a knife, it's a machete.
Right.
Which I don't consider.
Which is not what he's got.
I
this
know.
Is like the Michael Myers kitchen knife.
And Piglet at one point uses a chain.
A chain. A foam chain.
Well, we'll get to that. 12.
Okay, one of the movie's taglines, "We'll be friends forever, won't we?" A line that Piglet speaks in the Winnie the Pooh books when he asks Pooh how long their friendship will last. It also carries a double meaning in the context of the film, as it references Christopher Robin's belief that Pooh and his friends will still see him as their friend after being away for so long, which turns out to be false.
Well, if it didn't, it wouldn't be much of a movie. Throughout the movie, Pooh says a total of 2 words. Oh, bother. No.
I wish. That would have been way more ridiculous, and I would have liked that.
But it would have to have not done the voice, because that, yeah.
Not that voice.
Piglet remains silent.
Owl and Rabbit can be seen on the top right when Pooh and Piglet are dragging Christopher Robin.
The masks will occasionally rise on Pooh and Piglet, exposing the faces of the actors underneath.
Yes. When Piglet is swinging the heavy chain into the pool, the chain floats as the character pulls it back. Chains do not float.
Not unassisted. When Maria is running through the house holding the gun, it disappears and reappears repeatedly.
When Laura is in the hot tub taking selfies, the first few she takes, she's holding her phone in the vertical position. When it cuts to her looking at the photos, she's holding her phone horizontally. And the pictures didn't match not just the angle, but the poses she was doing in them as well.
Right. The ending was changed because, to the filmmaker's surprise, the idea that this movie was being made went viral. The original ending would have been an homage to Texas Chainsaw Massacre, with the final girl getting a ride to safety and Winnie the Pooh going crazy swinging a sledgehammer around as she rides off.
The original plan was to make this straight to streaming, but once it went viral, filmmakers knew it needed a theatrical release. A little over 1,500 theaters played it in the U.S. There are 5,798 theaters in the country, so about a quarter of them played the film.
All right. Now, is there anything else you want to say before we
Go find yourself a copy of this movie.
Now, again, we like this type of schlocky film too.
If you've made it this far into the episode and you're not in,
we'll give it.
That's weird.
So, because we enjoyed ourselves what was your least favorite thing?
Well, first of all, Rotten Tomatoes is a thing that
yeah.
exists, and we were going to just completely ignore them.
No, we should use that.
We shouldn't we?
Yeah. So, again, they just take all of the professional reviews, boil it down to positive and negative, and then give you the percentage of positive reviews.
Yes.
The reviewers have it at
3%. 3%, yes.
The people can also vote, and they have a different take. 35% enjoyed it.
Yes. Now, if you go with their supposed acclaimed characters, they've got 50% with the top audience and 5% with the top critics.
Still making it a failure on both counts.
Yes.
So
that doesn't help them.
And I prefer to
the real numbers.
The real numbers of all.
Yeah.
Because why are there top critics if they're all verified critics?
Why are there top audience?
That's
if it's
even
all
more confusing.
people who just sign up on the internet.
But anyway, so now, what was your least favorite scene or thing?
It feels blasphemous to this kind of movie to say this, but some of the special effects. All right? Now, hear me out. If it wasn't that, it was going to be something that the movie had no control over.
Okay.
And neither are fair.
No. Because the acting was better than it deserved to be.
The acting was better than it deserved to be. The special effects, for the fact that they were doing this on pocket lint at first.
£20,000 was their budget. They got an extra 50, and then they refilmed the ending mostly.
Yeah. But it's like, I guess I'm going to say the special effects.
But they even said on the special features, most of what you see is the £20,000 version.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. My least favorite thing was probably the fact that the way the trailer made it look like it was mostly about Christopher Robin and his girlfriend trying to escape from them. And I don't want to spoil what it is, but there's a lot less of that than I expected because the trailer made it
can
sound
be misleading.
And it was. Especially with what we
Disney
know the original ending was going to be.
But this is not that.
No.
What
was your favorite scene or thing?
All right. So, yes.
Yes,
It's
what?
very difficult. Like, all of the kills were a lot of fun. Like, every time that something was being done on screen, I was having a good time.
Yeah, I get that.
So, like...
Okay. Well, I will be more specific. There are multiple times that you see Winnie the Pooh eating honey.
Yes.
And when it's just a guy wearing a big rubber mask that's mouth doesn't move, what that means is he dips his snout in honey and it drips off slowly as he goes to do other crap.
Yes. I have to assume that this
hilarious to watch.
Outfit was probably soaked in honey by the end of the first day.
I mean, I don't know if they used real honey because it looked clear.
Oh, yeah, cornstarch or whatever, corn syrup. But
yeah,
like,
it was very clear. But
it's cheaper than getting gallons of honey, that's for sure.
It was so, like, if it's fake honey, whatever, like, compared to the fake blood that usually gets used.
I mean, it looked decent for what they were trying. That's definitely
sure.
Good.
It didn't look like he was eating it though.
You know why?
And he was pouring it on the
His
bodies,
head.
and there was
it
was awesome. Like it was
just,
so
like,
out there that I
it
enjoyed
on his
it.
Face.
Yes, yeah, he was like, and it was just dribbling off. All right, now we'll start with rating it for the type of movie it is, the thing that we like. Okay, so what would you give this on a 1 to 10 on when comparing it to things like Evil Bong,
Evil Bong?
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna go with an 8.5.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go like 7.5 to 8. I'll go 7.5, but still.
Rewatchability is a high.
It is high.
Yeah. Like, not only would I purposely go out of my way to watch this
He
many
would
more times,
try to find people to put this into their eyeballs.
like, yes. When the sequel comes out,
I will tell you,
I will be watching this one
Your
again.
aunt, as much as she loves Winnie the Pooh,
Probably will not be a
I
fan
do not
of
think
this.
she has any interest.
What do you mean? Christmas family get together. We bring the
You
copy.
mean Thanksgiving?
Or Christmas. Either
I
one.
mean, we don't. Oh, yeah, but
Yeah, we bring it over.
I don't. They don't have a Blu-ray player or DVD player at my dad's.
So we bring
no.
mine.
Anyway, now on a reality scale of compared to good quality movies,
I'm going to give it a 5.
I'm gonna go 4. But here's the thing: it's mostly due to budget. Like the acting is actually, you know what? Screw that. I'm gonna give it a 5 too because the acting is
Like-
actually done well. Like for the Christopher Robin and his girlfriend especially,
Like, they do a good job.
I really think they do.
Like, sure, at no point do I believe this is actually a 7-foot tall, like, bear.
Right. Well, to be fair, it's not. I'm not gonna spoil it.
Right.
But they're not a bear and a pig.
And
they are abominations. I'll put
if
it
you
that way.
want the Friendo honey bear mask,
It's like what, $750?
it's $650 because I guess they have high quality stuff. But I was like, oh, I'll do
But
this for Halloween.
but that's what they paid for it, you know? It's like, so that's what you're
Can I
going to
just
pay.
get like the knockoff version
Well,
of the knockoff?
It won't be
version?
long before there's knockoff versions everywhere, cheap, I'm sure.
I want it, by the way.
Anyway. Yeah, so... Yeah, 5
any
seems fair.
big fans out there of this show, go ahead, find Immortal Masks, purchase me
No.
this $650 mask.
Sure. All right, now why don't we do the things to wrap up the thing?
Yes. So you can watch this show on Fact TV channel 1082, Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. and Fridays at 7 p.m.
You can also, like on Facebook, Gory Storytime and Fact TV.
You can go to www.factdate.com. They have most of, if not all of the episodes of this, and many other things.
And if you are on what was formerly Twitter and now is X, you can follow me at Craig Jakes, all one word, all lowercase.
And I'm at Jiggly Fernbrain. I only tweet things that he says that I find funny.
And neither one really talks about this show. So
Unless he says something funny about the show.
Right.
Which doesn't happen.
It has.
It's not very often.
All right. And also check out the YouTube page. Go to Gory Story, type in Gory Storytime. The 2 pages that'll pop up is Fact TV and Gory Storytime's page. Like and subscribe to both.
Yeah. And until next week, with a movie that we do not 100% know yet.
I mean, I think we
figured it out.
We're not
but
sure.
Until then, I've been your host, Jason.
I'm his co-host and father, Craig. And sweet dreams.